Welcome to another Lonely Island Seth Meyers podcast.
So here's the plan, guys. I'm really excited. I have a little housekeeping, and then we have some Q&A, and then we're going to see where we're at, and we'll go from there. Can I start with my housekeeping? Yes. Last time I asked a whatever you call them, rhetorical question, you all just stared at me.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, the news is out. Our long national nightmare of waiting is over. Lorne has announced he's going to stay at SNL through the 50th.
Yay. Yes, that's great.
He finally did an interview that unburdened the world from having to play Who Should Replace Lorne. So congratulations to Lorne on what I'm sure will be another 50.
I was worried it was me.
You were, weren't you?
Yeah, I thought I was me.
Because you never got mentioned, and I feel like it's often one of the people that never gets mentioned.
That's exactly right. Every time they didn't say my name, I went, shit, it's me.
Wait, not that I'm out of it, which you guys all know that I'm in it. I'm never out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
But who were like the top dogs? Like who keeps getting mentioned?
I'd say Tina got mentioned the most.
Tina got mentioned the most.
Yeah.
I had my name out there a perfect amount, which was flattering to say it was not going to be me, but I liked hearing it. And and then I think there were like the people who were working there. Speaking of, I'm moving on to our next topic, which is Steve Higgins. We've talked a lot about Higgins, and I went to the Emmys, didn't win, but I had a wonderful time. Got to present with Wig, Bowen, and Maya. Always a joy to be with our family.
I watched it. It was very funny.
I didn't, but I bet it was good.
I missed that.
We were pitched as we're going to be an SNL reunion. It really hurts you in your soul when you realize you've been gone so long that you're now part of the reunion. Like when you're with three people that you worked with, it's now a reunion. It's not just like, hey, those guys, you guys still on the show? Everybody knows we're not. And it's a reunion.
I mean, technically, this is a reunion. You know what I mean?
Now it is, yeah. But it was a fun bit. The bit was we went out and talked about how many Emmys Lorne has lost over the years. And I knew that he would laugh at Maya and Wig and Bowen telling him that he's not a loser and he does have value. And writing for Maya is the greatest thing in the world because you write that, Lorne, you were robbed, and you spell robbed ROB-BUD-DUB -A.
Yeah.
And she does it exactly that.
That's awesome.
But afterwards had dinner with Lorne and Higgins, and I have 3 things Higgins did that I thought you guys would enjoy.
Okay, hit us.
Yeah.
I'm going to love all 3.
They brought rolls, and I had to reach a little bit past Higgins to get a roll, and he slapped my hand so hard it still hurts.
Yeah, that's tracks.
The waiter asked Lorne what he wanted for dinner. He said, do you know what you would like to order? And Higgins went, cheese sandwich.
Oh, he's on fire.
And then immediately turned to me and said, it's such a weird, I mean, there's so many good things here, but okay.
Did he do it like a ventriloquist? Like Lauren was his puppet?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, but like not Lauren's voice.
Yeah.
I love that in a not spot on impression at all.
Cheese sandwich. Great.
That's a weird call.
And then immediately then starts criticizing Lauren for it.
Okay, Captain Weird Order.
God, miss him.
Anyway, that was the housekeeping I had.
That's wonderful.
Oh, I have one more thing. You're listening to this on a Monday. On Wednesday, Andy's going to be on Late Night.
Oh,
Hey.
that's a twofer.
This is a nice situation where we're actually now recording these close enough to the present that I can plug that Andy's going to be on the show.
Yeah.
If you're listening on Monday.
Yeah.
Should we be doing a deep dive? Because it comes out when?
The movie Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes out Friday.
So this Friday in theaters, Andy took a little dramatic turn, and he's awesome in it.
Yeah.
And truly, all the reviewers take a moment to point out that Andy's very good in it.
Oh, that's nice.
It's true.
And he looks very handsome. Do you feel as though you missed your window of when you were best suited for just sort of looks and fashion? I don't know, because like 40s Sandberg looks really good.
I mean, part of the reason I was like, ooh, I bet I could do this part is because I look like I'm from then.
Yeah. Especially when you get your hair cut a little bit.
Yeah, a New York guy from there with that haircut. When they did the haircut, I was like, oh, it's going to be all right.
For listeners that have no clue what we're talking about, and Andy won't pump up his own balloon, that's a phrase.
Yeah.
It's called Lee. It's a World War II movie, and it's a Kate Winslet movie, and it has Alexander Skarsgård, and it has Marion Cotillard.
Andrea Riseborough, Josh O'Connor.
And it's a serious, not joke movie.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit of a leap for Andy, and he had to go film in Budapest.
Yeah,
and he had a great time and had a little fun experience outside of our normal comedy world.
Andy, when you get interviewed for these things, do you also say, and it's not a joke, and the movie's not a joke?
Yeah, I'll go like, oh man, it was such an honor to work with Kate. That's not a joke. I'm not being sarcastic.
Smart.
That's good.
I have to say it after everything, yeah. And obviously, yeah, Keith mentioned I shot it in Foggy Budapest Town.
Oh,
Foggy
boy.
Budapest Town. Mhm. And it's
Nice.
September, for people listening
Time.
out of order, late night, 25th, movie, Friday the 27th.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting.
Andrea Riseborough has now accomplished something that those in the know call getting in the cage, which is she has now worked with both you and Nicolas Cage.
Whoa. That's high praise.
That is,
That is high praise.
High praise indeed.
Now, Andy, do you know what movie Andrea Riseborough and Nick Cage were in together?
No.
Mandy. Have you seen Mandy?
Oh, yes. And if you
No.
haven't seen Mandy, there's one scene that everyone will know if you've seen Mandy that is worth seeing just to see Mandy. If you only see it up to this one bathroom scene.
Oh, great. I was about to ask you what the location was, not to give anything away, and I'm super psyched it was the bathroom because that's definitely the scene. And
Yep.
the only thing I will say is I really wish, even bringing up Mandy, that Nick Cage right now was doing a Nick Cage movies rewatch pod because I would just be waiting for Mandy.
Oh, God, it's so good. It's so good.
Wait. Before we move on,
What?
Seth,
Yeah,
when you were doing the Lorne bit at the Emmys,
yeah.
I couldn't help but feel like I had seen that blocking before. A shot at Lorne, back up at the stage over Lorne. And then I remembered it was me and you at the Emmys when we did a bit with Lorne. It was like that we got him a mug that said World's Greatest Boss or something.
Oh my God, no, literally no memory. I think you're right.
It was a similar idea. It was not that he was a loser, but it was like he's accomplished so much. We have to acknowledge him. And to do that, here's a cup.
Man, it's been a fulsome career that we're completely forgetting.
It's so crazy how forgetful you guys all are. You guys are forgetful.
Anyway, my point is you guys ripped off our bit. You ripped off our bit.
Oh, I ripped off a bit that I had previously done with you.
Exactly.
Andy, what award did we give out together at the ESPYs?
No clue.
We gave out Best Play at the ESPYs.
In Hamlet one?
Boy.
Hey, Higbones is here.
By the way, we should have done that bit at the ESPYs
I know, we blew
just to have a bit die harder than any bit.
And the best play goes to...
And I'm like, Andy, no.
Hamlet. Oh, my God.
It was very special to me because I'm a big Steelers fan. We gave Best Play to Santonio Holmes and Ben Roethlisberger for a Super Bowl winning
for that
catch.
insane catch, yeah.
And then the only reason I bring it up is last year, I told Andy this, but last year I met Santonio Holmes. And I said, you probably don't remember this. Andy Samberg and I gave you an ESPY for Best Play. And he said, I remember Andy, which is a really funny burn.
That is a
Wow.
Which couldn't have made me happier because it's usually the other way.
ESPYs after parties were so fun because the amount of people that came up to me, these were athletes, who would say, man, I had never heard of you.
Yes.
I had no idea who you were. And you're really funny. But I'm like, just say you're really funny. The amount that it was like, you are not on my radar at all.
You need a little bit of that in your life.
Yeah, it's not bad. Look at that. I feel like we're really just growing into podcasters because that was a real top of show banter. What do you got for us now, Keev?
Yeah, I've got a little special guest who had some corrections for us.
Oh.
Hey guys, this is former SNL writer Rob Klein, and this message is mostly for Seth. Seth, I just had a couple of little quibbles about things that you said recently on the pod. Number one, last week you said I was given the name Flip Flop because I wore them on the first day of work. That's not totally accurate. I was actually called Flip Flop because I wore them every day to work for my entire first month on the job until eventually Steve Higgins asked me to stop doing it because it was making Lauren feel sick to his stomach. So that's one correction. Another mistake, Seth, I noticed was on the Harpoon Man episode, you stated that Harpoon Man is bad. That is not correct. Harpoon Man is actually very good, maybe a little dated, but still very funny. And if you guys actually believe that that's Andy's worst vocal performance, then you've clearly never seen a little short called The Best Look in the World. So that's all I wanted to say. Harpoon Man is good, and I am officially putting it in the Criterion. Okay, love you guys.
Wow. To call in
I mean,
Yeah.
and make a case.
respect. He had things he needed to get off his chest.
I mean, just to use data on your phone to defend Harpoon Man.
I mean, keep in mind also, Rob at this point has 4 kids, 2 of which are twin babies. So like, he's not like swimming in free time. Yeah, that was important to him.
It sounded like he recorded that late night too.
So I saw Rob last night, and the only thing I'll add to it is because it started with him just telling me it, and then I was like, wait, you have to make me a voice note, is that he said on Harpoon Man, he watched at home. He was not an employee at SNL yet. So his opinion is like very valid as an impartial audience member. And he was just watching at home and went, I love that. And then he was hearing Seth shit on it and was like, no. Stop it. I watched at home and I like that. Don't take that away from me.
I do like he kind of did me a solid, though, because right before he told the audience of our podcast that I was wrong, he did admit to wearing flip-flops to a job for a year.
He said a month. They said a month.
So, like, sure, take Rob's judgment. And that is a very valuable thing because I would say, and I think Rob would agree, no one was more delighted by Sandberg's wheelhouse than Klein.
We got on famously.
You got on famously. So the fact that he was like pro Harpoon Man before you had like laid on your charms one-on-one.
Maybe that's why he was so pro.
Yeah.
Wait, did Lauren actually say though that his shoe wear was grossing him out? Like, is that true?
No, I bet he said basically like, is anyone going to talk to Rob about his footwear? But he said it in a way that you could tell he wanted to make him puke.
Oh my God. Guys, I got a follow-up voice note from someone.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of confusion about this person's first voice note.
Okay.
They were doing kind of a weird voice.
A voice.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And everyone was like, what the fuck is this?
It was a real dud.
Yeah, it didn't play, and it also sort of helped, like factually. Anyways, I think...
He'd like to give it another try.
So let's just check it out.
Okay.
Oh, hey guys, it's Colin. I just wanted to follow up about my previous message and explain that I actually wasn't peeing while I sent that message about Roy rules and how I worked on it and came up with the line, and my dong is his peg leg. So, that's it. Just checking in and signing off, and I wasn't peeing. So, that clarifies it.
I mean...
So yeah.
So he was peeing this time?
Well, I think we might now need another one.
The best thing about this is anyone who's hearing them will finally put to bed that question that's been nagging them, which is, why doesn't Colin do more characters on SNL?
It's also funny to me that for how easy it is to do that voice, that he also loses it a little bit at the end.
Well, you got to remember, he's definitely standing with some sort of, I mean, the amount of rigging, I'm sure there's like a stainless steel bucket next to him. He's got a hose that he's barely turned on.
High quality Foley work.
Yeah. Phone in his hand.
That is harder.
Knows he's out of his comfort zone doing the voice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's some tension in there.
He's an odd duck. He's an odd duck.
Odd duck.
You know what? Just clarify it for us, will you? Was that peeing?
I mean, maybe this becomes our podcast's runner, you know?
Oh, we'd love a
Like, hey, our
runner.
apologies to Matt Damon. Was Jost peeing?
Oh.
You know what I mean, you
We
guys?
could use that.
Yes, I
Yeah.
Comedy media, content.
Hey, I had one other, I didn't get a voice note, but we all got this, and I feel like I should share it. John Hamm, fan of the pod, was very disappointed that we did not call the Brian Williams short Life of Brian.
Yeah.
And I think he was right.
Oh, yeah.
I think we were still in a place where we didn't think the public would ever see the titles.
Right.
They were just for the rundown list. That's why so many of the titles are so lackluster.
Support for the Lonely Island and Seth Meyers podcast comes from Shopify. Hey, Norm.
Hi.
Hi, Keeve.
Hey!
You guys, you like the idea of selling when you have a business? Because oftentimes businesses, they're just built on the idea of having a product and trying to sell it to people.
I used to want to have businesses that didn't sell anything, but it didn't work.
Yeah. And when you're thinking about businesses that are selling through the roof like Aviator Nation or Mattel, you think about the product, right? The marketing.
Sure.
But an often overlooked secret is actually the business behind the business, making selling and buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Can you name one company that's doing selling better than Shopify, Keeve?
I actually can't, and this is something I know a lot about.
And Yorm, were you even a little bit aware that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%?
Oh my God, I thought it was 40. So no.
You don't even know what that means. It means that way less carts are going abandoned and way more sales are going forward. So if you're growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell. Wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between, businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Update your business and get the same checkout Aviator Nation uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Lonely Island, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Lonely Island to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Lonely Island. Support comes from Fitbod. Recently, we were talking on the podcast about the fact that Andy and Akiva played Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire and did not have the same bodies. Is that a fair thing to say, Keev?
Yeah, we did not have Fitbods.
Yes. And the great thing about Fitbod is it creates a personalized workout routine based on your goals, fitness level, and available equipment. Workouts adapt to your growth, so each workout is challenging enough to push you to make progress. So Fitbod would take one look at you, Yorm, and would probably recommend that you pick up a felled oak tree.
Yeah,
Do
I was
few
going to say.
curls.
I was going to say. I don't know if it maxes out at a certain point.
And maybe Keev, it would recommend, those giant sort of semi-truck wheels. Throw a few of those around your lawn.
I'll take your word for it.
Fitbod tracks your muscle recovery so you can avoid burnout, keep up your momentum, fine-tuned by experienced certified personal trainers to bring best practices and exercise science to you. Lock in and stay focused. Join Fitbod today to get your personalized workout plan. Get 25% off your subscription or try the app free for 7 days at fitbod.com/island. That's fitbod.me/island.
Hey, I know that we do need to get to some stuff,
Yeah.
but I need to talk about Spelling Bee,
Oh, the New York Times game or the Will Forte sketch?
the New York Times game. And you know
Okay,
why,
great.
Seth. I'd almost prefer it if you told them.
That you went on the hottest streak that maybe anyone's ever been on with Spelling Bee. I think 7 days in a row, you queen beed.
I mean, I want to say like 6 in a row, but like 9 out of 10 days.
Now, Andy, believe it or not, as we transition to Q&A, this is helpful because a lot of people have asked questions about you
Oh,
and
okay.
the Spelling Bee.
Oh, yeah, good. That's all I like to talk about.
So this is a question, and I mean we know the answer, but some of our listeners are frustrated because we talk about shorts that are not readily findable online. Someone wrote, "I'm interested in how you guys are able to access videos like the Talking Dog short that aren't available on YouTube. Also, how are you able to find archival material about SNL episodes from 2007, such as scripts, rundowns, etc.? Is there an NBC server that you have access to that contains all these videos and documents, or did you meticulously preserve it all in a series of USB thumb drives like a machine?"
Who is that from? Is that from Hacker147 or something like that?
That's from Melinda. And it is, there's a server and there's a Kevin Miller. Kevin is a producer on this podcast and a former writer's assistant at SNL, current producer at Late Night with Seth Meyers. And we have an ability to go back in time and pull all this stuff. I have a question for you. When you first started SNL, what was a sketch you went straight to the server to watch?
Give up the ham.
For me and Yorm, it was that Kelsey Grammer one that now we know Mike Schur and Matt Piedmont wrote, that I believe we falsely attributed on this podcast to Adam McKay, and then got a text from Mike Schur being like, actually, it was me and Matt Piedmont.
He was very, very flattered that we liked it so much. And it is a great sketch.
It was the Burrito Noir one.
Yeah.
Andy just went and looked at old music performances from the 70s.
I did.
Yeah.
I watched the Talking Heads performance in the 80s and Stevie Nicks and stuff like that. But Give Up the Ham. We wanted to see Give Up the Ham.
Oh, yeah.
I remember doing that and seeing it at Dress also.
Yeah, it was really fun to go watch The Dress, the one that you've never seen before. Even just to go look at Cowbell, but from Dress, like famous sketches, but see it performed in an uncanny kind of alternate universe.
I feel like maybe we went back and watched the first Wayne's World, stuff like that.
It's also just kind of amazing because you can just type in vampires and it'll be like, these are the 6 vampire sketches that come up from starting in 1970. So it's a pretty amazing. I kept thinking they should make this public if there wasn't so much music that they had to clear or whatever. But I think people would pay a subscription.
Well, they can. It's at peacock.com.
Yeah.
And you can see a lot of great stuff.
And Peacock has just an incredible search function. It's so easy. You type in vampires in Peacock.
You can do it back in the day, though? You can do all the ones?
No, I'm being sarcastic.
They just have a lot of stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh, I understand sarcasm.
Hey, I know we've sort of exited the plug zone, but because Harper Steele wrote Give Up the Ham, I should note Harper and Will are actually going to be on the show this week as well, promoting their documentary.
take advantage of that. We're doing a last minute one and you can actually say things like that. It's amazing.
Yeah, we're going to plug. I'm very excited. I have not seen Will and Harper yet. It is a road trip movie about Harper Steele, who was a writer at SNL, and Will Ferrell, who I do not have to explain to anybody here. And it is supposedly incredible.
It's
And you're in it,
100%
right, Seth?
Rotten Tomatoes. 100%.
What'd you say, Andy?
Seth, you're in it, right?
I'm in it. I'm in an early scene. It is about how Harper transitioned, and it is her allowing Will to ask all of the questions he might have, and it sounds like it's something special.
I cannot wait.
I'm very excited to see it. They're on the show this week. They're on Tuesday.
Sick, bro.
This is going to be a hot week.
Jessica asks, so when Seth and Andy say they got Queen Bee clean with no hints, does that mean they didn't even look to see how many words there were or look at the 2-letter list? Or does it just mean they don't look at the community hints? I play the Bee daily and I'm no slouch, but damn, raw dog in the puzzle, the completion with nothing beyond the regular puzzle screen and do it on the regular seems implausible.
I feel like I should come clean. I do look at total score and total words.
Okay.
So the 2 hints, 2 basic guidelines.
But you don't look at the 2-letter hints. You just know how many words there are.
How many words?
What's total
and
score? What does that mean?
Total score is the total sum of all the words you get.
Oh, because you get points on each word for how big the words are?
Mm-hmm. But I will say, her name was Jessica that asked.
Yeah.
Jessica, I will say, if I'm being totally truthful, maybe like 10 times a year, I get it without even looking at that. In those moments, you feel like, frankly, a genius.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a queen.
Well,
A queen.
I was about to amend it. You feel a lot better than a genius. You feel like a queen bee.
There you go. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt that flow.
And Jessica, when I get it, I'm using not only all the 2-letter hints, I also am looking at a list I keep on my phone of all the words I didn't know. It's just like the cheapest success possible.
But me and Seth admit it to each other when we use hints and we use
We do.
list words.
We're very honest. Jordan asks, in a few episodes, one of y'all can be heard laughing so hard that you snort. Who's the snorter? Sandberg.
I think it's me, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sandberg's a great old school snorter.
I'll snort. I don't give a goddamn.
The best.
That's actually weird to me because I know Andy pretty well at this point, and I don't actually know what that sounds like. I'm not immediately like, oh yeah, he snorts. Like, what do you do when you snort?
I mean, make me laugh really hard and you'll find out, brother.
Okay. Let me just tell you a quick story.
No. It's too sweaty. It's not going to snort at this. I feel like we've answered this, but I do like the phrasing of the question from Kevin. Hey, Quades. I love hearing Lonely Island stories about cutting quarters to make a short. Aphex Twin sample, for example, actually work for an agency that manages the NBC Store website. As you can imagine, I've received many scoldings from NBCU's legal team myself. So my question, what's the most trouble the Lonely Island got in during their tenure at SNL? I mean, Aphex Twins feels like it. I maybe feel like you shot a few times in places you weren't supposed to.
That's the biggest one. And then we'll talk about a short in the future that we spent a lot of money on called I Wish It Would Have Rained, which I think we've already mentioned.
I mean, I can't wait.
We didn't get in trouble for it, but I got a very sarcastic response from Lauren after we made it. And that made me feel bad about myself.
Yeah, we got bullied into making it and then basically
Kinda ripped on.
Shamed for making it also. But, we'll get there. We'll get there.
I will only say about I Wish It Would Rain is I wish today we were doing I Wish It Would Rain. I'm only doing this podcast to just get to I Wish It Would Rain.
Every week we would get, not every week, but a lot of times on the songs with the bad words. We'll touch on each one as we get there, but there'd be a lot of touch and go stuff. To the point where, like, for Jizz in My Pants, I'm sure we'll talk about this, but, like, they had to call Jeff Zucker, who ran the network, to get approval for it to air at the last minute.
Let's not talk about that one because there's a lot to talk about with that one. There's a lot to talk about.
Which one was it, though? And we'll get to it. There was a dude on West Coast that was her boss, or censor.
Betsy Torres.
I had to say, can I just talk to the boss? Because she kept saying my boss won't allow it. And I said, can I talk to him? And they had to pull him out of a dinner because it was West Coast time at 8 p.m. on a Saturday night. And he was so mad at me on the phone. Just unbridled anger at someone he had never met while we're trying to put a show on. And I'm like, hey, hi, how are you? He's like, I'm in the middle of a dinner. It's 8:30 p.m. What is this? Like, just screaming at a stranger who's just trying to, like, put on a live TV show that's...
just a kid.
It
Just
matters.
a kid trying to make comedy.
Yeah, exactly. With the word, I think it might have been mother lover. Just make something about, fucking things on national TV.
They put that scene, even though it was apocryphal, they put it in the Reitman movie.
Oh, yeah, it's Saturday Night. Yeah. It was a flash forward.
It does seem like a real Aaron Sorkin.
I never forgot, because it's weird to have a stranger scream at you on the phone that you've never met, don't know their name, will never meet, and just feels okay screaming at a stranger.
What LA restaurant did you most want to picture him in, stepping outside to yell at you?
Oh, Spago, obviously Spago.
Yeah, Spago.
No, I was going to say the Ivy, but sure, okay.
I was thinking the Ivy.
Oh.
We were at that's where, I'll restaurant drop. That's where Lauren, I feel like Lauren only eats at places that were like Visa commercials in the 80s. They were like, when you go to Ivy, bring your Visa because they don't take American. Like,
By the way, you just got a snort out of me.
yeah.
Totally involuntary.
We went to the Ivy and there's outdoor seating right on the street,
Yeah.
But like not on the street, like right, it's on the
Behind a
restaurant.
nice
but right
white
on.
picket fence.
Yeah, right. And Shoemaker and I had super early flights, and so we left first. And we had a driver because NBC gets you a driver when you get nominated for an Emmy.
Cool.
And we walked out and we thought he'd be right there and he wasn't. For like 5 minutes, we were standing 5 feet from our table, but on the other side of a picket fence.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
And we definitely caught a lot of grief.
Can I add on to that story? The first time we met Pam Brady, original writer of Hot Rod, we met at the Ivy. I don't know if you guys remember this. And then when she was getting her car, another car story out front, a town car pulled up that would take you to the airport. And she was like, yeah, this is my car. She just thought it was super funny that she got a Lincoln town car to drive around.
Yeah.
We were
She
like,
got
"Yeah."
a black Lincoln and she blacked out the window so it looked, and she's like, I park in red zones because people just assume a driver's in there
Oh, that's so funny.
waiting to get me.
Yeah, she's great.
Oh, that's really great. Here's one. Renee asks, hey there, loving the podcast. The Office did a parody of Lazy Sunday called Lazy Scranton. Did you know they were going to do that, or was it a surprise? What were your thoughts? There was also an episode where Michael dresses up as MacGruber for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know they were going to do that?
No on either for me. I don't know if these guys knew that.
I remember.
I knew about Lazy Sunday because Sure asked for the instrumental.
Oh, right. You're going to be shocked to hear that I don't remember that.
I very distinctly remembered, and I remember having to go through the feelings of like, are they making fun of it, or are they making fun of people doing their version of it? And like slowly coming to realize that Mike was our friend and liked what we were making and stuff, and being like, oh, I see.
Yeah, it was very much the latter. Like
Yes.
that would be a thing that Michael Scott would do.
It was the phenomenon of people like dressing up as the stuff and doing their own like our thing at our office and in our town, and the fan vid version of it, right?
Yeah.
We were very flattered.
Here's a good one that I have no idea of the answer, and I'm really hopeful that Andy can help out.
Oh,
Brianna, I'm loving the podcast, despite Andy's disdain for the medium. I have a question about an SNL sketch from that era that has been driving me crazy for years. The premise of the sketch is Andy, Hader, and maybe someone else are water cooler delivery guys. I'm going to pause for a second. There's a lot more. Andy, is this jogging anything yet?
no.
Okay. I don't remember how, but the scene devolves into the guys needing to chug water from the giant water cooler bottles. One of the ending lines was something to the effect of, I have a buddy at SNL. We should tell him this story and he'll put it on the show. Do any of you remember this sketch? It sort of feels like a fever dream, but it's so certain I saw it as one of the last sketches in the show of that episode.
That's a really funny end line.
I
of a
don't
sketch.
remember. That's a really funny
It's
thing.
such a funny line.
Any sketch could end with that.
It's also so funny because if like a friend of yours, you wrote on SNL and a friend told you this water bottle thing and you wrote it up as a sketch, it'd be so funny to think you also had to put in the line, we should tell my friend about it.
Oh my God. I do not remember this, but it sounds great. I will say that joke probably makes all of us laugh extra hard. In case it's not clear to anyone, if you work at SNL, your life immediately becomes every person you've ever met telling you what a great idea for a sketch is. And half the time they just say like the setup of something with no actual comedic idea. You're like, what would be funny is like something at an office, or,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You're like, oh man, yeah, I'm going to take that into account.
I remember my super once, we were going down the stairs and he slipped down like 2 stairs and he said, oh, now that's going to be in the show, isn't it?
Yes.
That's usually what people
But
say.
like, as what?
Oh boy, this guy's here gathering material. And you're just like, what?
That question being on here now, somebody out there will answer it for everybody.
Yeah, I'm sorry
Yeah.
I don't remember, but it sounds delightful.
We're going to do some digging. I remember a different water bottle scene, which I think Wasn't it Dane Cook and Forte? And somebody from the water bottle company came and asked if they'd been returning the water bottles. And they kept saying they had. And then a closet opened and it was like 1,000 water bottles. Like those Poland Spring water bottles fell out.
Right. Didn't we talk about it where it's the sound of the water bottles off camera?
Yeah.
Did that air?
I think it did air. Here's one. Jill, I have a general SNL question. Have you ever had someone from the audience storm the stage or just do something crazy during a sketch? With the big actors that come on the show, I find it hard to believe that we've never seen some kind of crazy person interrupting. Never in my time.
Yeah, strangely, no.
Yeah.
I feel like recently I even saw a headline of some article that like someone did it when Sharon Stone hosted.
Ah.
And that Lorne grabbed them.
Really? And
Literally,
did like a weird like karate move on them? Like, sweep the leg.
I can only assume, yeah.
This was on Lauren's blog. Is this where you read it?
That's all I read.
Can I go back to the water bottle thing for a sec? Because Kevin just sent. All right. So there was a sketch. I'm looking at it playing on mute right now. It was Dane Cook. And so far it's Dane Cook and is it Forte? And it's the one you were talking about. But it starts with them chugging from like Sparkletts giant water jugs that you would have in a water cooler. And then they're trying to hide them. And it feels like maybe this would be what she's talking about. The fact that they're chugging because they're trying to get rid of the water in the beginning.
Kevin says it was this one.
Okay, it was this one.
It's on a random website right now, Dailymotion. So if you do a web search for water bottle Saturday Night Live, I bet you might find what you're looking for.
All right.
And Forte says, if they don't use it, I have a friend at Studio 60.
Natalie, saw that Andy did a Letterboxd 4 favorites interview during the UK premiere of Lee recently. I was just wondering, what were your 4 favorites, bud?
I mean, look, I got asked in the middle of doing carpet press.
Yeah, so I've seen some people get asked. This is a red carpet question where Letterboxd basically asks you to name your 4 favorite movies. Kind of impossibly put you on the spot.
I just was like, God, off the top of my head, and I think I said The Jerk, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Alien, and Aliens.
That's a good 4.
Which are 4 of my favorite movies, but like...
But if you had time.
If I had time, I don't know, they'd be my main 4.
I can tell you, I was asked yesterday at Q&A and said Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Chinatown, In Bruges, and I can't remember what else.
Mine are all just Bergman films, and whatever that person's first name is.
Whatever.
Roger Bergman.
Whatever is Roger Bergman.
Little known auteur named Roger Bergman.
You're not going to remember this, but because it's impossible to pinpoint it, but maybe you do. But Albert wrote, when did the audible cheers from the audience begin when the SNL digital short card would appear?
That's a good question.
First one. People are like, ooh.
I don't think I know the answer to that.
Yeah. Albert guessed Dick in a Box, and I do believe that, like, post Dick in a Box, it certainly was happening. But I think if we go back, because again, we were saying, like, even Andy, People Getting Punched, I know I'm going to butcher the title here. It's People Getting Punched and Seth Meyers.
Podcast.
While eating.
Yeah, but that's after Dick in a Box.
Yeah. Oh, right. Support for Lonely Island and Seth Meyers podcast comes from Vuori. Hey, I'm very excited about this. A new perspective on performance apparel is Vuori. It's perfect if you're sick and tired of traditional old workout gear, like you are, Keeve, right?
Oh, you know it.
Vuori draws inspiration from the coastal California lifestyle that, Yorm, you've always embraced, correct?
You know it, Seth.
Vuori makes products that stand the test of time and hope to inspire others to live vibrant, healthy lives. And the great thing about the website, it's very easy to find the product that you wanted. And, it's great for stretching and also lounging.
Seth, I have a question. Is it good with low-impact workouts?
Yeah, that's the great thing about it, Keeve. It's good for low impact, it's good for high impact, and it's also designed to look great in everyday life outside the gym. So you don't have to walk around with 2 different outfits. Guys, I want to call out a couple of things I like about the Dream Knit fabric. Super soft, lightweight, relaxed fit, made from 89% recycled materials.
Seth, just this morning you were texting me about moisture wicking and how happy you were about it.
Well, that's the thing. If you don't wick it, it's with you all day. And Vuori's got moisture wicking, and that solves that problem. Vuori is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, they're offering 20% off your first purchase at vuori.com/island. That's VUORI.com/island. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to vuori.com/island and discover the versatility of Vuori clothing. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions.
Support comes from Rocket Money. Quick story, guys. I signed up for an app. Very expensive app. Don't want to say what it was. Thought I had canceled it. 3 years later, realized I had spent hundreds of dollars on something that I got no use out of. Don't let this happen to you. Don't let my life become your life. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel those unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so that you can grow your savings and not lose out like me. See all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. For any apps that you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help cancel them with just a few taps. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million, not doll hairs, in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/island. That's rocketmoney.com/island.
Somebody wrote, how does SNL pick extras for skits shorts? In the first scene of people getting punched, my favorite short. Thank you, Kelly.
Woo!
Someone's peepaw gets their clock cleaned. That was an old guy first.
That Peepaw was good. He was real good.
He was very good.
And I don't know the answer to that. We would just ask. And I mean, on the live show, you see the same faces pop up a lot. I think whoever's casting extras for SNL has their trusted people that they know can be trusted to do a good performance live on air. So the same background actors show up over and over and over in the background of like political sketches and stuff.
People are quite good at their jobs at SNL. I can't remember if we were like often handed lists of extras. Like if you're making a movie or a TV show, you're handed lists of like pictures and you're circling them and da-da. But I feel like the show is moving fast enough that occasionally we would ask for just generally, right? Like would we always pick them?
We wouldn't look from lists or anything.
Yeah.
We would just kind of say what we want and someone would show up and they were usually
Great.
Really good. Here's some information from Kevin. There's someone in the talent department who books the background actors for the live show, and sometimes they do it for the short if you want it. That's from Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Also, Kevin was there when I gave my answer yesterday. My fourth movie was Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now that you haven't had time to think about it, Keeve, you're 4. Go. You're on the red carpet. You don't have time to think. Hey, Keeve, we're so excited to be at the new Naked Gun premiere.
Groundhog Day, Die Hard, Notting Hill.
Great.
You just changed genres. This is great.
Do Groundhog Day again. That's kind of funny.
That's funny.
And Groundhog Day. Oh, yeah, that's good. Thank you. That's better.
I recently watched Notting Hill again. Kind of perfect, right?
I've never seen it.
It's very good.
Or I don't remember if I've seen it.
I saw it for the first time recently, and it is very good.
It's very good.
It's the group of friends. I talk about it whenever people bring it up, but it's the group of friends that are so natural and you want to hang out with them. And it's that guy, his ex who's now in the wheelchair, who is with the guy, and then the goofy friend, and then the wacky sister. And there is something in those British, it feels so warm and inviting when they're all hanging out. That's where I really feel like they've captured some sort of lightning in a bottle.
Also, Alec Baldwin as her.
Yeah, he wants him to adios those dishes.
Yep, we talk about that a lot.
I'm just going to say Josie didn't really have a question, but she did send in a photo of her wearing a Roy Rules t-shirt that she still owns.
Fuck, that rules, frankly.
She said, destroyed my college roommate's computer trying to download Awesome Town videos. Just wanted to say Roy Rules, one of my favorite doodle shorts, and still have the t-shirt that my roommate got me.
What a treat.
Pretty awesome.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's the nice font and everything. That's a great shirt.
It's really good.
Wow.
This is making me feel great.
You should send that to Roy.
Here's another one. Megan, did you guys ever have any say over merch? When I was in college, I bought a magnet with Andy's face on it that says punched in the signature yellow impact font. I'm a high school teacher. In 12 years of having the punched magnet on my whiteboard, the only person to ever comment on it was a dad at back to school night who said, "Hot rod?" To which I replied, "Yeah, basically."
I think that was that official NBC store merch? I think it was. I think I remember seeing that down in the store.
That's great.
Thanks for sharing in all the dumbness, everyone.
Hey, I'm going to answer a hard yes for the group here, but you guys can talk me out of it. Would you guys ever do an episode about the Bash Brothers special from 2019, especially since this year is the A's last season in Oakland? I would love to hear about what inspired the special and if they ever talked to Mark McGuire or Jose Canseco about it.
Definitely.
I mean, going to bring me to one of my favorite stories of all time. I mean, I'll let you guys tell it.
No, you have to tell that story, Seth. You tell it way better.
We were in Minneapolis. One of the greatest days of my life. I've always said this. Greatest day of my life. I had shot Lobby Baby the night before. And thank you. And like day after taping a special, you're just like the relief I felt, right? Palpable relief. One of my best friends lived in Minnesota, Brian Stanchfield, went out on his boat with my brother, Shoemaker, and Brooks Wheelan, just like drank Coors Lights on a boat. We blasted I'm on a Boat a lot.
I was going to ask.
Because we were on our way to see the Lonely Island live at the Armory in Minneapolis.
That sounds right.
Giant, awesome.
Yeah, it was a really big space. It was awesome.
I'd already seen you guys do the live show in New York, so I was super excited to see it again. And I don't know why in Minnesota this was the case, but Jose Canseco came, the real Jose Canseco.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. It was the second time he had joined us. He also had joined us in Milwaukee at Summerfest up on stage, I believe. And then had so much fun with us. Was like, I'll do it again. What's your next concert? And we're like, tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we're here. And he was like, all right, I'll meet you there. And so he actually came and did it again.
It was so awesome.
He was wonderful.
We haven't talked about this on the pod. I hope we haven't, because I will just say, the great thing is we're backstage. Jose Canseco looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Literally looks fantastic. And Yorma, maybe no one in the history of two-line scenes has put something more on a tee, says to Jose Canseco, oh my God, you look amazing. What's your secret? And Jose Canseco says, steroids.
Wasn't it? It's all those steroids, man.
It was kind of a pause. There was a nice pause in the air before he said it. Steroids.
But like he told it as a joke, knowing it was very funny.
It
was a great joke.
But like I couldn't believe it. It was so funny.
Yeah, I rarely see Seth laugh that hard.
Steroids.
Also, it also leaned in. Both of them played their part, because also like Yorma played the part of a guy who doesn't know a single thing about sports.
No, I know stuff. I do.
Canseco reached out like day one when it came out, because we just put that thing out there and didn't know how they'd feel. And day one, he was on Twitter saying he liked it and thought it was awesome.
It meant a lot.
And we immediately had management reaching out to him and started putting into the works the idea of joining us on tour, because we were happening to go on tour right then. And he was a delight the whole way through. And for people that didn't get to go to the tour, what he did on stage those two different nights was when me and Andy were in our jerseys. Let me make a tangent here. I can't believe people wear those sports jerseys to the events where these athletes are, because if you ever want to look the worst you can look physically, put on the exact same clothes as like a 6'4" muscle-bound hunk, and then wear that same outfit pretending to be them, and then get into the same vicinity as them. We look so whack and so weak and just melted, shitty. And then there he is anyways. And we're wearing the same dumb outfit. And he came out. So we're doing our dumb raps to the crowd. And then we were like, you come behind us with a baseball bat and just start pacing the stage. And we'll kind of pretend like we don't know you're back there, but the whole audience will get ahead of us seeing you. And it was such a delight doing our dumb raps up there. And I could see all the crowd's faces. And then you saw when their eyes moved from watching us to looking at someone behind us and kind of tuning out of the song, being like, oh no, oh my God, that's him. You felt when we like lost the crowd.
It's very much like a world wrestling move, but also an SNL move. But when you do it on SNL, you're on cards and you're under the lights, and the concert setting, it's what Keith's saying, where you actually see like thousands of people all go, oh, it's the guy.
That may be one of my favorite, and we will come back around to it when we do a special Bash Brothers episode. Your line about your name's, what is it? My name's Mark, and no, it's not Mork.
Yeah, Andy actually wrote that for me.
But yes, I eat pork.
It's got internal rhymes again.
Yeah, and yes, I eat pork because it's tasty on my fork.
Because it's tasty on my
something
fork.
Mark was famous for, eating pork.
Wait, yes, I eat pork because it's tasty on my fork. Is that it?
Yeah.
It's maybe my favorite thing ever. Impossible not to think about.
We would ask Canseco, we said, do you think Mark likes it? Do you think he's okay with it? Do you think we'll ever hear from him? And he would just be like, no to all those.
Yeah. It did make me feel a little bummed, because we do love Mark McGuire. I mean, I had a poster of him on my wall. But I will also say, in the exact opposite direction, Akiva as Mark McGuire is one of my favorite comedy things that has ever occurred.
Dead ringer.
And I'm Mark.
I remember coming in, two things. One, I remember coming in while you guys were doing the edit, and it was that like one with all the giant redwood trees, like where it got really beautiful. And
Yeah, some of the poems.
yeah, just it was like, so I'm watching you guys doing poems, and it looks gorgeous. And I remember, Andy, you said, how much did Netflix pay you for your special? And I told you, and I go, what about you guys for this? And you said, we're down 200 grand.
It is true.
It's dedication.
And it was, I was like, when I saw what was on the screen, I'm like, yeah, I would think so.
We made that thing for, by TV standards, nothing.
Yeah.
That whole thing for less than an episode of I Think You Should Leave, which is the cheapest show on TV.
Get out of town, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was just all labor love. And Mike Diva, who works at SNL doing the shorts now, did it with us. And he knows visual effects really well and would hit up friends for favors. And me and him just edited the whole thing. And it's not reproducible.
It's so good.
Thanks, man.
It's so good. Now, I would say two things, I guess, are good there. One, it's true that it's not reproducible, and it's probably not a big deal because no one's asked you to reproduce it.
Correct.
I meant for something people wanted to watch. Like, you couldn't do it for the same budget.
So basically, you said to Sarandos, we can't do a sequel.
Yeah, that is it.
Stop calling.
I'll be excited to do that episode to answer that question.
Yeah. I know SNL actors audition for the show, but could you explain how exactly writers get in? P.S. I took the ACT at Berkeley High School, and I guess it was a tradition to tap the mural of the Lonely Island for good luck on tests.
Oh my God.
I failed the ACT that day. R.I.P.
They said they guess. They guess.
Yeah.
They said they failed the SAT that day?
And then they wrote rest in peace and had a skull emoji.
Okay.
That made me so happy and then so sad.
It was Kate.
Kate.
Thank you, Kate.
Great, Kate.
People bringing it.
I'm sure she circled back and passed it. Writers, some writers like Rob Klein from earlier in the pod, he was definitely someone we hired off his packet that he submitted. But then other writers, like obviously Akiva and Yorm, come through different channels. Mulaney was somebody who auditioned but was hired as a writer. I think in recent years, they've hired quite a few writers based on their auditions.
Lutz auditioned. Had a really funny
Lutz,
audition.
John Lutz.
Yeah.
And we had to write a packet too, and we all worked on it together too.
Right. Sudeikis was, I believe, initially an audition. He became a writer, and then eventually. Sometimes they end up in the cast. So there's a lot of different ways you can find yourself in the show.
You know who I was always surprised wasn't hired onto the cast because he was such a funny guy and was very, very good at pitching was J.B. Smoove.
Oh, yeah.
Worked out for him, though. Jillian Bell also.
Yeah.
Yep. She was a writer. Very funny.
I remember the first time I saw Larry David, I said, you did the thing that everybody has been wanting somebody to do, which is you figured out exactly how to make JB as funny on camera as he is off camera.
That's right. That's right.
Which was basically just to let him be.
Let him be
JB.
exactly himself, yeah.
Don't try to like fit him into a box, just like make a bigger box on your show.
Hannibal Buress was also a writer with us.
Yeah, who had a really funny audition. All right, Matt wrote, after watching Hot Rod, I wrote to my member of parliament. So where does that mean he's from, Andy? Member of parliament?
Foggy London town.
I wrote to my member of parliament to ask him who would win in a fight between a grilled cheese sandwich and a taco. And he wrote back to say the taco. Then he lost the election. Do you think the election was a referendum on this issue?
It sort of depends on what country you're actually from. There's a lot of different places that have parliaments, but I'm going to say yes. Yep.
Okay.
It's kind of a theme of people following something we did and then failing miserably at it, whether it's the ACT test or an election.
It has not gone well for people who use you guys as
their totems.
It gives them a good window into what it was like for us growing up.
Yeah.
Like that tone in the real world.
Yeah, it doesn't land well.
Doesn't usually play, yeah.
Well, I'm very excited for our next run of episodes. Love you all very much.
Same here, Seth. I thought you guys were going to do it. Fuck. God damn it.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Same here, Seth. Okay,
Seth.
now Andy's not doing it.
Seth, love you.
Love you.
Love you guys. Bye.